people make up over 60% of the population, yet their participation in politics, governance, and civic decision-making remains shockingly low. Luckily, there's a new generational shift on the continent, thanks to the power of digital activism and also civic tech. And today we have Nerima Wako, Executive Director at Siasa.
Yeah.
And today we ask you, Nerima, what will it take to create a politically empowered, youthful generation on the continent? That will be the topic today. But first, we have a culture. And I'm happy you've come. Looks like part of the production crew gave you some leakage. Join me here.
Okay.
I know you're a Gen Z. I'm an older millennial. But I want to believe there's something we have in common as millennials and Gen Zs. In an African setting, there's a way storytelling was done. Do you remember?
Through song or by the fire, always through older people telling you the story, sometimes even using sound to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The famous one was always around the fire, where older people shared stories of wisdom, but also Africa's heritage. And today, we'll ask you to light the fire for us so that we're able to light up the conversation.
I'd be honored.
Let's see. A lot of people struggle. It's a technique. It's an art.
Rare see.
Okay. Let's see whether you are a pro at... Oh, there you go. You know the trick.
Yeah. From camping. Mainly.
Oh, wow. There you go.
But fire is also very tricky.
It is.
See, it's catching.
Slowly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if...
I got it. Can you see?
Yes, it's coming up. Do you want to add another one on the other side?
Yeah. It's actually also down there.
Ah, okay.
Ooh, I hope I don't set my hand on fire.
It's interesting how you know the skill of, carving your hand around the matchbox.
I'm cheating.
Oh, wow. It's coming.
It's coming slowly.
But it's picky. Did you guys know that? Where the fire... See the trick that she's doing. This is a farm girl, I can tell you for sure.
It's picking.
Yeah, it's picking. Oh, wow. Thank you.
You're
very
welcome.
skilled.
Thank you.
I was asking before you came in, I was just asking my team.
Yeah.
Whether they know how to put up this. And they're all laughing. It's like, we're city kids. How are we supposed to know the trick around lighting the traditional fire? Oh, wow. Okay. It's coming up.
Yeah.
Then there's another thing you never missed in an African home. We used to have very unique coffee tables. I don't know if you remember. Do you see one?
The drum.
The drum. This was an antique, a very special centerpiece in any African home. And we could use it to lay food on the table. At times as kids, we could just use it, to drum and have fun. So give us a bit. It may be a bit of civic agency, maybe your cultural bit, maybe an African bit. Let's see what bit you have.
Let's see what speaks to me.
Wow. Is there any meaning to that bit?
No, for me right now, it's more of a clarion call. Yeah, that's why I feel we are. Especially as young people. Yeah, we're at a point where we have to call ourselves to recognizing our future.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm happy you talk about the clarion call because what is the state of youth participation on the continent, whether it's governance, whether it's politics? Where are we? Are we making progress? Are we stalling? Or are we leaderless and we're just somewhere with no direction? How will you analyze it?
So I don't think we're leaderless. I think we've changed what leadership looks like. We're so used to seeing it has to have a hierarchy, it has to have someone at the forefront, and it has to be up, top down. We're seeing horizontal leadership, we're seeing mushroom leadership, we're seeing more solidarity, because when people are using social media to fundraise money for medical bills, to bail campaigns, and trusting strangers, just because you're like, I'm doing it for the love of Kenya. I see a different kind of organizing, and a lot of young people are questioning democracy. They want to engage, they want to participate, but the systems are just not responding quickly enough, or they are not adapting quickly enough to hear what young people are demanding.
Do you think Africa is ready for the urgency that we're seeing in young people?
That's a good question. It's even during the protests last year, we actually learned a lot from NSAS, the whole cluster organizing. And people say it was leaderless, but when you look at the content of the posters, they came from somewhere. It's thought process. By the time we're saying the flag is the national symbol of the protest, when you're saying love and courage, someone had to think about that. So there is a heartbeat, there is a core. And I would say that Tanzania as well, no one would have thought young people would come out and protest.
Not Tanzanians. Not never thought of it.
They're like, never ever. But they did. And so for me, that's the change that I recognize. And we are moving somewhere. It looks like we're not going anywhere, but we are. Because by the time Tanzanians are saying, no, this is not an election to me, this is not the leadership that I voted for, and the whole process was a sham, that's young people speaking to process and democracy.
In the process, of course, we're losing a lot of lives. We're leaving a lot of young people injured. Then after that cycle, there's another push for the government to be accountable. And we've seen cases across different markets where even policemen are being captured, on video. It's a whole, almost a sham process, whether it's formality, they're released. Do you think with this current scenario, when there's another call for people to come out and, push for accountable or transparent leadership, do you think many young people will come saying we are losing many are still injured, but the government is doing nothing? Is it creating some sense of fear in young people?
It's creating a lot of fear. And it's
not forgetting those who are disappearing. Yeah. Families are still looking for their loved ones.
Looking for. And even after last year, this is the second Christmas, a lot of families are not going to spend with their loved ones. And we haven't seen government, seriously trying to reach out to these families and do something about it. Most of the actions they've been taking has been political. But it doesn't mean that there are no young people that are going to come out, because when you talk about the kind of status young people are in right now, people are mainly eating one meal a day. People don't have access to opportunities. Unemployment is too high. When you have over 1 million young people graduating annually, and there's just no room for them. So they are living in a war zone right now. It might look peaceful to a lot of us, but for many, they're living.
Boiling.
Yeah.
We have the AU, of course, which is our governing body on the continent, which seems to be neither here or there, because we're talking of Africa being the youngest continent, but the body
being led by the oldest.
The oldest, but also taking a back seat and just looking how young people are getting frustrated every day. When you cumulatively put the deaths together, somehow, you're denting that population. But the AU is quiet. Is it because it's a boys' women club? Or do you feel it's still the issue of the old not accepting that it's time for them to vacate the stage and allow young people, because times are changing. What are your thoughts on that?
The AU is living in a clash of ideologies, because even our states are supposed to contribute toward the AU. Our own governments don't pay. So it doesn't function like how it was envisioned to function in the 60s and the whole goal of the AU. So it is an institution that is struggling to exist and to be recognized. And I think that's going to happen with all these big institutions, including the UN, where you're seeing people questioning what's the point of UN when there's Gaza, when there's wars all over, and you have countries with veto power. And it's taking other generations to question the existence of certain institutions. I do think that the AU for once wasn't extremely silent with Tanzania. There was a lot of pressure coming from young people, activists, even from Kenya. A lot of Kenyans have been involved with collecting data from Tanzania and pushing it to higher institutions in other countries, including ICC or Geneva and the UN and the AU. And so even the fact that they mentioned something and didn't recognize as president, but basically said there was a challenge, an issue with the process.
Some progress.
It's progress.
Yeah.
Not as fast as we would like it to be.
Cumulatively.
Yes.
Step by step.
Yes.
Yes. What are some of the countries you'll say they're doing well in terms of legislation, creating an environment that gives young people confidence to run?
Interestingly, legally, Kenya is way ahead.
They're setting the pace.
Way ahead. Yeah. I mean, even other countries are looking at us and being like, wow, you guys actually have a youth article. And, here we are like, no, we can do better. We can do better. So I would say when it comes to the existence of platforms, Kenya is one of the most forward-thinking. Not even European countries have articles or laws that are specific to young people, and we do. However, which is the usual struggle, the story of implementation. So I would say that there has to be a huge transition, especially in civil service, because when you look at the average age of those institutions, it's still at 55.
It is.
Our unions as well, they're dying. New workers are not joining them.
True.
So a lot of these different sectors that build nations, when these pillars are falling apart, then that means that a population that's majorly young, that means that that country is failing its young people. So I would still land on Kenya. I would. Actually,
we're being the first to nullify presidential election.
Yeah.
We are being a first in everything. And I'm happy with what Siasa Plus is doing.
Thank you.
Trying to really reinforce the backbone of civic engagement, but also creating that hope and support to young people getting into this place. What was the vision before you started Siasa Place? Is it from a personal story, or what you're seeing and wanting a better country or a better continent? How did it start?
So I feel like Siasa Place is just like this fire. Because it started like a joke. It's exactly what happened. Yeah. So I know that my first impression, people are like, this chick, she does politics? Are you for real?
This young chick, I remember this young girl. Actually, it was the young girl.
Doing, talking politics and then even like my hair and all that. They were just like, she can't be serious. And then they're like, this chick is smart. And then now people start to. So I'd say it was the same thing.
Yeah.
Starting off as an intern and then really curious about what's going on in the country, and then going to Twitter, X now, and finding a community where I found like 7 other people, other the founders, and we're like, oh my goodness, we had so much passion for country, and you're in your 20s. So when your friends are out, you guys are sitting in a cafe in Tao, a coffee shop, and you're talking about Kenya with so much passion until that place is closing down. So I would say that it started off as a community to discuss governance. And then what can we do about this? Especially, do we have a community where we can encourage young people to not just join politics, but to be active citizens.
So what are your core programs you're doing? I know you're into civic-tech, and of course it will beg the question, of course you have the issues of the digital divide. In such pockets, how are you supplementing so that we ensure no one is left behind? Chief Justice Emeritus Marago's here, and he was keen to say, let us not leave anyone behind. Because digital activism, it's digital activism. And I know you're doing also some offline activities. Maybe you can just talk to us how you're balancing between remote and urban areas.
Yeah, so when we do go to rural areas, we do have forums, which we call barazas, which are town halls.
Yeah.
And even our town halls are recorded so that you can be watching it on social media platforms if you can't go physically or if you have access. But for those who don't have access, we do meet physically. And in some of the counties where we work, we've had stories from our public school doesn't have a toilet. Can you imagine?
Wow.
And that's illegal. You can't have a school without a toilet.
Exactly.
And so we've seen 26 schools put up toilets.
Wow. And I'm happy you talk about these issues when you go into the counties. You're finding out things that should not happen in the 13th year of devolution.
Absolutely.
Is devolution working? We talk of public participation. Is it a formality? Is it working? And I agree, because I've also gone to some of those remote areas. They'll tell you, we don't remember the last time we even saw a green-plated car or the governor or so-and-so. Are we making progress? Are we regressing? Is it for the people or is it for a little club, that really doesn't care about things trickling down to the person at the most decentralized unit?
I think it's a mix of both, because we do see a lot more trickle down in terms of counties having their own revenue allocation, their own ways of doing things. You almost see a culture in counties now, rather than Kenya being under one federal system. And we're not all the same. So I think it brings about diversity. And we've also seen some areas where once, especially young people, understand how budget works, when they're able to hold government accountable, we've seen government producing that resource. Even just like the toilets I talked to you about, like it's the government that ended up paying after people are like, you put a budget line for this, why doesn't it exist? So I would say that it's not moving as fast as we would hope it would, but also the Constitution has given so much power, especially direct power, to people. I feel like it's a weapon, and a lot of people don't understand how to use that weapon. So as long as it's just packed up somewhere, you're never going to use it and know what strength you have when you have it as a tool. And once people learn how to use that weapon, which is the Constitution, then we will see better progress a lot faster. So it's happening in pockets, but I'm more hopeful, about it.
And digital surveillance now, it's the new catch, for governments. Recently in Kenya, we had the amendment to the computer misuse bill. We've seen the same in Sudan, in Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, same thing. So we get offline, we get online because of penetration of, we're in the digital age. But again, government is following us there. And they even want to determine what incitement is, when at times, actually, it's not. So again, and I know these are some of the things, the awareness you're creating at Siasa Place. How are you going about it so that people understand the law and they don't have to fear when they're doing the right thing online?
It's a double-edged sword, because I know someone who was arrested recently about a post, and only to find out that he actually didn't put that post. So they are changing tactics. So now, they take your phone, and then they put an offensive post, and then they come and arrest you for putting up that post. So you can see how they can utilize these certain laws to their advantage rather than it to be able to protect the public, especially when you're talking about, hate speech and toxicity online. So there's only so much you can do when it comes to security. There's a lot of laws globally questioning what privacy is. Because, it's also linked to our jobs.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So even now someone is delivering food or someone is a driver, Uber, Bolt, whatever, they're able to track, how is this person working? Oh, are they resting? Oh, your whole life is now surveilled.
It's just being monitored.
Yeah, it's being monitored.
Yeah.
And that's actually a genuine fear for us in terms of how do we define what is for public good and how do we define where state is crossing over to manipulative control. So when it comes to that, there's still a lot of conversation and battles in terms of policy that's happening globally. But when it comes to people who utilize their platforms, we do a lot of awareness. We have something called Trust Lab, where we basically go through how do you determine what is fake. And if you're not sure, who do you ask? And then how do you share verified information? Because the battle in the near future, especially 2027, is going to be misinformation. It's going to be how are you able to tell whether this is actually from a news outlet or somebody made it up.
The power of AI that is doing
it's very scary.
marvelous things, but also it's a double-edged sword.
It is.
We're advancing in tech, but again, this tech is holding us captive and getting us in trouble in some instances.
Yeah. Especially if we don't guide AI, because a lot of times people feel that, it's going to take over things, but it's really there to help us and us to guide it. It's not there to take control and take over. So being co-creators with artificial intelligence is extremely important for our work.
You talked about policy. At times you wonder, we have a lot of young people. If we pick a case like Kenya, in both houses of parliament, go to the county governments, a lot of young people. Does it bother you the way it bothers me that they actually sit in these sessions when very regressive bills, amendments are being passed, when government is plotting to harm young people?
It does.
Is it because they feel maybe, they'll never get out of that protection space, the political space?
No, it bothers me. In fact, I've even brought it up with some of them. And some of them, they try to be vocal and then they're not given the floor by the speaker. So you can see an intentional muting or mumming, especially when you see how the executive has been very involved, especially with parliament over the last few years. So I would say my concern is the reduction of criticism. When you live in a democratic environment, you're supposed to be able to have room to criticize. It doesn't mean that you're constantly of one thought and one idea. Sure. And through criticism, you have compromise, which is what that democracy is about. But I worry that we are moving into a country of, or states of, some opinions are more important than others. And those are the ones that receive the attention, but it's because they own a lot of the media.
Opinion by design.
Yeah, that's very, very scary.
Yes, and media ownership, the independence, the fourth state is supposed to be independent. But then when you start tracing the media ownership, media management, then find media also cheerleading. And you see, cheerleading can be just taking a backseat, not reporting, or framing it in a way that really suits the government. And we'll get to that. Also, the issues that young people on the continent are starting to pick with mainstream media. But let's talk about elections, which are losing credibility on the continent, from the east to the west, to the south, to the north. Elections are losing credibility among young people. Young people are opting out from their civic duty of voting because they say, anyway, it's already predetermined, so what's the need?
Yeah.
Young people are opting out, not wanting to run. One, I'm not able to afford the nomination fee, or not being given the certificate. Is it the future for Africa?
It could be. We could see a rise of independent candidates where...
We had a case in Bungoma the other day, the young man in Kabuchai.
Exactly.
What's it?
Exactly.
That brought all the heavyweights in this country for award seat.
I know.
And he won.
Yeah, that's the future.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of young people are saying that you tell us to go through the systems, you tell us to go through the processes, and clearly they are not fair. It's skewed. Where now it's only people who have the resource who are able to buy the tickets, and young people don't have that resource. So we are going to see the rise of independent candidates. And, you know, you said, let's talk about elections. There's going to be a huge disconnect where people are concerned about the issues, substantive issues, the economy, education, health. It gets to a point where you've fed so many lies that people don't want to hear it anymore. And like, you're talking about generations where the first thing that they see when they get on their devices is what's on your mind, what do you think, how do you feel? So it's a very opinionated generation that's coming up.
It is.
And you're telling them to be quiet.
This generation.
They are not going to be quiet.
Yeah.
So you either be, you know, adaptive and find ways to receive feedback and be responsive to that. The elections are going to have to be transparent. There's no way we're going to have a peaceful election if it is opaque. That I guarantee you. There has to be tallying that's happening in real time. There's going to have to be
concurrently with the electoral body.
Yes.
But Nerima, for us to push that needle, then it calls for a lot of sacrifice, investment, and participation from young people. Look at Kenya, the last election. About 5 million young people were eligible to vote. They didn't. Look at Nigeria in 2023. Again, low turnout from the young people. Look at DRC. Different pockets. How will we get there if you're not putting in the work?
The work. I think Zambia did it in 2021. Yes. And I believe in 2026 we're going to see a similar ripple effect where young people came out. But it's because they were inspired to come out. Now you're telling them to come out for who? Even me, I'm not inspired.
As of now.
I am not. Yeah. So they're not going to come out. Like, until they see something that inspires them to genuinely come out. And I truly believe that a moment will come next year where someone or something, even if it's a campaign, that will inspire them. So I'm not hopeless yet. It's still a bit of time in regarding the registration. And we've watched movements over the last 2 years in countries we'd never imagine and learning from Kenya.
Nerima, when you look at the civic space, seems to be shrinking a bit over some of the non-enabling environment from the government we are talking about. Look at protests, then a lot of police to come and create fear, arrest people, and so forth. When you go to the NGO world, they're trying to tighten the laws so that they don't have access to resources and the freedoms to do their work. On the other hand, human rights commissions, what is happening? They're getting underfunded. Functions, resources follow functions. When you're not funded, then how will you be able to do that? So it begs the question, looking at all these disruptions from the center, is it possible for civic organizations to form alliances so that if Siasa Place is bringing 10%, another one can bring 5%, so that collectively you stay on course and push on with the agenda?
Yeah, it's possible, but the leaders of those institutions also have to be progressive, because we are part of several networks, and we've been experimenting with Youth Serving Organization Kenya, which is a network of now 77 youth organizations, and we work on pulling resources together and doing activities together. But then you have the usual challenges, because where people are, There's, interests. There are some who feel they should be more relevant than others. It's working.
The spokespeople.
It's tough. It's tough. But we're also seeing that because of what you mentioned, the shrinking spaces, we recognize that we have to find other forms of sustainability.
And so which are these forms that you're exploring? Let's say at Siasa Place, how are you programming now or planning now to be sustainable maybe in the next 10, 15 years?
So we have to think about things like crowdsourcing. You're thinking about having special purpose vehicles or business, or finding social enterprises where you're able to sell some products. You have to think about different ways of funding and resource funding, because it's not always about money. Sometimes when we go to the counties, for instance, it's partnership with people who already have, say, an office there. How can we use the field that you own so that we are not, paying for it, and the partnership is a barter trade of sorts? So that's how we found ourselves working around utilizing less financial resource. And there's some people who are going to struggle if they don't adapt. Then if they only depend on financial resource, then it's going to be difficult.
Resources.
Yes. We even know people who also focus on economic empowerment, so that they have businesses and the people that they work with are able to sell their products in some of these events, for instance. So having an economic empowerment aspect of your programs is something that's also essential.
Wow. Okay, now we get into some interesting segments. We call it the wheel of insight. When you look on your side, there's a wheel there. It's not a wheel for winning anything, but it's a wheel of insight. So I'll ask you to join me there.
Okay.
We're going to have 3 spins. We want to see which is your lucky number and which will be your lucky question. So let's take the first spin.
Okay.
Number 2. Okay. Where are you, number 2? Here. So I'll ask you to pick a random card. Then out of it, we'll be able to ask you something.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. What makes a good political movement that is believable and inspiring?
Oh my gosh, this is what I'm working on.
Really?
Yeah. What are the odds?
Telepathy.
Ay. Okay.
What makes of a good political movement that is believable and inspiring?
I feel like if I say it now, my secret is out anyway.
No, you can just summarize it a little bit.
But in summary, something that speaks to the heart of people. So right now, we're trying to see what's that one thing that connects as many people as possible right now.
Wow. Something that speaks to the heart of the people. Emotional connection. Let's take a second spin.
Okay.
Number 4. Okay, number 4 here. Let's see what is there. Maybe we'll be picking another chapter of your...
I know.
What are you working on? What is an example of a well-communicated government project or campaign in Africa?
Ooh. A well-communicated project or campaign
in Africa.
I would say that silencing the guns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was powerful and emotional.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd say that one they tried.
Okay. Last spin.
Last spin.
6. How has social media changed Africa's political landscape?
Beautiful. Completely. It has made politicians have to join TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah.
And governments.
Yeah.
They have to be on this social. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So they now have to also change how they communicate to get to certain audiences. It's beautiful. For me, this is right up my alley.
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer.
It's amazing how now it's less of traditional media and more of you have to be on TikTok, on IG, on X, on Facebook. They have to, conform.
Imagine. And then now we have to know like what they are doing every hour, following up with them on their different platforms. I think it's made them even now more, what's the word? They're in a fishbowl.
Yes.
Yeah, more visible.
I like how they're checking into the office at 6 or, they're being creative though. Let's give credit.
They're hiring young people to do that. So at least there are people getting jobs.
Exactly. Oh, wow. Have a seat. Thanks. Wow, I love your lucky numbers. They've spoken to something about you.
Yeah. I feel like the cards were,
That's why we are DEFCON Africa. We are good people, good souls. We align, and so forth. We talked about unemployment slightly, not in detail. But of course, there's a connection between unemployment and disengagement of young people in politics. But can young people focus on politics when survival is a priority?
No, they can't. It's very difficult to, because imagine politics, the way it's supposed to be, is debate clubs. It's really people discussing issues, who gets what, where, when, how. Now, you imagine listening to someone talking and you're hungry. Can you hear them?
Oh, my kid is at home.
Yeah.
No school face.
Yeah.
They've been just from school.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where really, truly, the economy is something that has to work for the people, for them to even be able to connect with the policies, with the laws, with the politics, especially if you want genuine engagement and representation. Otherwise, people will just be attending meetings because they know at the end of the meeting, they're going to get something out of it or be fed during this meeting. And just from that beginning, you're not going to get the kind of politics that we yearn for.
But during every electioneering year, across the 54 markets on the continent, there always a lot of economic promises. We'll be able to do this in the first 100 days, the first year we will do this, and so forth. And we get deceived after each and every electioneering year. Is there a way we can hold the political class accountable and secure our future when they're making these promises on the campaign trail and they get into office? What needs to be done so that they deliver on what they promised and we don't need to see what is happening? A lot of unemployment, especially among young people.
Absolutely. It's a moment for civic disobedience. And I say this because there was a very powerful movement around Occupy churches. Politicians should feel some sense of shame, especially those who have lied, corrupt, or steal. They're the ones who go to churches to get votes. They shouldn't even be allowed the podium or the platforms. And this is where there are some churches who have remained true to that. And beginning from there, and there was also a campaign, "We are not our parents." You remember? And people are like, you can lie to them maybe for decades and they keep, putting you in, but us, we're a different breed. And there's something there, even though, a lot of people, there was an uproar. Why would you say that? You don't understand being under dictatorship. But there's something there that young people were saying. It was, we've had the lies and it's enough. We don't want to be associated to these lies. And so even when we talk to young people and ask, why are you not involved in the by-election? They're like, but that's not our election. We don't see this particular individual is going to go and serve this current administration. It's not our time yet. Like, we want a complete change. We want something very different from what's happening today. So I would say that in the end, the public has to stand firm. We normally know who the thieves are. Yeah, we know.
We can even smell them from a distance.
Yeah, they'll even go and tell you that's what they stole, then they built that, that's what they used the corruption money for. We know. So now that we know, we now need to educate our children to stop entertaining lies. You don't even let your child play with their neighbor and you know that their child is a thief. You don't.
Yeah.
So why, when it comes to politics, is it okay to allow thieves to rule? And these are the kind of conversations we need to continue to have.
And of course, we go back to the issue of sustenance. I love when politicians were getting scared and cancelling their church meetings. But along the way, Nerima, we went back to default settings. We can get there. But we have the resilience and the backbone to sustain it, even if it's 5 years, 10 years. We start off so well. Let's give credit. But somehow, somewhere along the way, we get tired. We take, we lay back. And I think that's one thing that the political class, they usually wait. They will burn out. And true, we always burn out. And it's an advantage they keep, leveraging. So how can we maintain this momentum? Whether it's on the streets or whether we are collecting signatures, whether we are holding the religious class accountable, whether we are conducting the awareness in the villages, whether we are doing the translation online and sharing on WhatsApp group. How do we keep that momentum? How do we stick together around that momentum?
That momentum is something that I actually admire politicians for having.
Yes.
Because even I've seen this week, some of them announcing that they are going to start campaigning in January. That's a year and a half of campaigns. And politics is a marathon. And a lot of us think about it like it's a dash, like it's a 200-meter dash, it's a short race, and it's not. And you mentioned that, we start off well. I feel we were also there in 2002. And I think one of the challenges is also within the leadership, people are like, okay, we have now Kibaki and so now we can relax. Yeah. I think we do have to go back to we cannot relent, and also learning how to have the solidarity that is horizontal. I truly believe that younger generations are going to be much better at this because they don't have that hierarchical kind of leadership that we talked about. They have more horizontal leadership. And that joint horizontal leadership makes it easier to exchange and tap into, okay, I've been leading for 3 months, I need to take a step back, but the campaign continues. So you've actually made me realize why some of the political movements need to have joint leadership. And it's something that we have to insist on going forward with keeping this momentum.
Do we need to also relook our curriculum when you look at, whether it's Africa's history, we look at civilizations, the things that we all remember from class 4, class 5 because we're taught in school. Do you think this is something that ministries of education or Africa needs to relook the curriculum? How do we create that ownership? How do we create that civic education from a very young age? That my 4-year-old understands something about civic duty, or my 10-year-old understands something. At times, I don't know what you think, but at times I think we get young people playing catch up at a later stage. And if you're not passionate, that's why we have the Nerimas, we have the Shakilas, we have the Hanif, the few who keep up the momentum. But how do we create that ownership? Do you think relooking the curriculum may be, a good attempt?
Absolutely. It does make a difference because, you talk about duty. Yes, it's a responsibility. And so for many young people, by the time they come across the Constitution, they're in their later years.
Yeah.
And it's something that, right now, even your 4-year-old can identify the flag of Kenya. So how can we link that flag of Kenya, that patriotism, that love, and what it means to be Kenyan? And this is part of being Kenyan.
Yeah.
I think definitely that needs to be relooked at in our education system.
It's amazing. Growing up personally, we feared the flag. You could walk, and when it's being, hoisted, you have to stand still. But right now, they're even stepping on it.
Yeah.
And talking, the things that come from their mouth. There isn't that sense of patriotism and also just that respect for symbols.
And I
stay.
Yeah, I faintly remember in school, doing the national anthem, but the loyalty pledge.
Yes.
I faintly remember, like I can hear the tune of how it sounds.
I pledge my loyalty to the...
I don't know the words.
Okay. I was a girl guide. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the words. Yes.
But then, if you ask young people today, younger, they
Even
don't
the
know.
anthem.
They don't know. And so, yes, it's in the education and how it's inculcated. Because if we're not singing it at school, then we're not going to sing it at home.
Yeah.
Then where are they supposed to learn it? So I do think that there are things that do need to come back, because that's where that fear and reverence for the flag comes from, because of the amount of respect we give it at school. But now when we're not, then it's very difficult for people to identify. And I remember when the protest started and we would, carry the flag and all that. And when people, were being buried, that whole act of being buried with the flag is so rebellious. I remember how people were really upset. They couldn't believe it. Like when we were attending some of the first funerals, they were like, no, you can't do that, you guys, you can't. But now...
Because the flag was a preserve of those in uniform, heads of state and so forth.
Yeah, a lot of young people don't understand what an act of rebellion that was. And it was to show that, the flag belongs to us and Kenya belongs to us. So it didn't even take a long time to switch that, because now when people are talking Gen Z, you will see the flag. When people are thinking solidarity, you'll see the flag.
And even the bracelet.
Yes.
It became a trend, and there was that ownership, which with the good leadership, I believe Kenyans and Africa, we can be proud of our nations. Nerima, I know your world travel. Go to other countries, outside people's homes, the first thing you see, it's the flag. They're proud to be, American, proud to be Finnish, proud to be, and so forth. And not that will be the first. Look at Rwanda. Isn't they, how they've been able to streamline this within the education system, that from a young age you learn what it means to be a Rwandese, to be proud. Look at Finland, look at Estonia. They're good markets to benchmark. But again, is the center, ready, for such? Do they want an empowered, enlightened, citizenry?
Citizen. I don't think they want an empowered, because of, when you empower a populace, then they come with tough questions.
They hold you accountable.
They ask you tough questions. And what we've seen is the avoidance of response. And so I live for the day where we see young Kenyans questioning governance, being part of those processes, and government responding and wanting the best for its people. I long for that day. And so right now, it's about how can we love our country and the country loves us. Because right now, for a lot of young people, they don't feel that this country loves them.
We love this country.
Yeah.
But it's not symbiotic.
Yeah. And I hope for the day, and hopefully soon, where it's mutual. We love the country and the country loves
us back.
Yeah.
Maybe with a young leadership, I don't know, but also we've seen with county governments where we have governors who are very young and we thought things would be done different. Whether it's an African spirit, we get into power, you may be in your 30s, 40s, but something just happened. I don't know if it's the system, we need to cleanse and call out the evil spirits, uproot them. Because young leaders are failing us on this continent. Starting from here, Kenya, young leaders are failing us. They're in positions of power, but they're failing us.
There are few. I'm actually hopeful. I believe in George Atei's vision of Africa, and I believe we are cheaters. And as a cheater, I do believe we will be able to see a progressive, actually in the next election, I am predicting a lot of fresh blood in the political system. And this is a huge opportunity we do need to have the right leadership, because even those young people you're talking about, they came through parties that are owned by old men.
Yeah.
So they don't even have the authority, power, or influence to do anything in that party. So they've already started on the wrong foot. So you can see someone, they look young, but they think just like an 80-year-old man. So you look young, but you think old.
Yeah.
And so you can also have progressive old people that you can partner and work with. So
we'll look at the bigger picture in the future.
Yeah. So I think we all need a cheetah mentality for Africa, because we have the energy, the oomph, the human power. So how can we be able to pull all of that together?
Are you planning to run in
Yes.
22?
I will. Oh yeah, and we're many. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm very hopeful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Are you ready for the murky world of politics?
I have to be, because I'm tired of being led by scam. So it's either I wait.
You offer alternative leadership.
Yeah, let the people reject me. But I've offered, and I've said I want a better Kenya, and I'm willing to offer myself, than to wait to be led by people who are going for it for selfish interests. And we all know that, and we're just watching them go. No, we might as well put up a fight. Yeah.
Lead from the front.
Yes.
What is your message to young Africans who feel powerless? Because they're a critical pillar of this continent. We hold it, we're the backbone. What will you tell them across the continent?
Across. Yeah, that's a tough one. You know, I have met youth from Madagascar, from Cameroon. We engage youth in Nigeria, as we actually have some form of cross-border solidarity, including Tanzania. And all of us want a better home. And we're not even thinking about ourselves. We're actually thinking of Gen Alpha. Because we're like, how...
Those ones there.
Yeah, it's Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
Because we're like, you know, we're here with this debt that's been passed down to us. Surely we can't continue to pass down to the next.
Nerima, if you were to advise the African Union, what is the one thing you'll ask the leadership to prioritize? A reform that will ensure young people remain central to Africa's political future.
Update their systems, simply because there's deliberative technology that exists, platforms that allow them to receive feedback from young people in real time, and they can talk to as many young people. They can change the dynamic by being responsive. All of our governments, the one thing we often complain about is just how unresponsive and disconnected they are from the populace. And the AU, if they're able to invest in these systems and actually hear from the young people themselves immediately and interact with them quickly, then those young people will build trust in the institution and then be able to hold their own governments to be able to hold them accountable to be part of the African Union. They have a direct link with the youth. With technology, they shouldn't use it as an excuse that countries are far and we're talking to governments. The internet makes things flat.
True. Borderless.
Yes.
It is borderless.
And if you're advertising borderlessness,
you better
the internet is
it.
the first place to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. So again, Nerima, we love champions, and I know you're a champion of many things. Today we're going to give you another heart, because we need to be a DEFCON champion. Looking at what we've discussed, your vision for Kenya, your vision for Africa, the way you're rallying young people, you're looking at different innovations that will just move the needle to the next phase in terms of a better Africa. We hope we can also wear the hat of being a DEFCON champion.
Yes,
as we push for Africa's development agenda. So, thank you. There you go. So I'll ask you to move closer there. As you see all those people there, they seem to be focusing at the top. So let's see. Which
Where?
corner do you want? Do you want the... Okay, which corner? There. Why there? Out of curiosity.
Out of curiosity?
Yeah.
I genuinely feel that oftentimes underestimated. And I feel like there's a lot of power on the ground.
Wow.
So not all heroes wear capes. You don't have to be flying to be a hero.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So there's Nerima committing to be a DEFCON champion. I love that. Not all heroes wear caps.
Yes. Oh Lord, I've written it badly. I'm the first one to cancel.
Yes, which is okay. And you see, it's the originality. We don't want to marinate everything. We want it to be as real as it can be. Oh, wow. Add your second name.
Oh.
Not all heroes wear caps. Nerima Wako. There's power at the bottom, indeed. Thank you, Nerima.
You're welcome.
We're happy to see you brought power on our canvas. And I think personally, it's something I'll carry forward. There's power at the bottom.
Yeah, a lot. A lot of power.
When you look at any institution, when you look at structures, it's always about the foundation.
Yeah.
When you tilt a bit, everyone will come crumbling. So I totally agree. Thank you very much for what Siasa Place is doing.
Thank you.
Indeed, Africa's population is young. And Siasa Place, you're doing that to build that confidence, the skills, to build a movement, and also the structures. Yeah. So I hand over for you to sign out our last episode of 2025 as we get ready for 2026. Go ahead.
Well, everybody, take care of yourselves. We are blessed to live a whole year. Such an honor to be at DEFCON today. And for all of those who watch this show, you're people who want a better Africa. May you succeed, and may we see Africa better.
Wow. And just there's something that, I've seen it. So Nerima, since it's the month of giving.
Thank you.
And since you love orange.
Yes, I do.
So something here for you.
Thank you.
Just say thank you for paying us a visit, for honoring our call. And we look forward to having more discussions next year.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving the needle forward, right?
Absolutely.
Very nice to have you today.
Thank you, Naila.
Until next time, thank you so much to our viewers, our communities. We say thank you. Keep following. Let's build this community. Let us set the pace. Let us set the agenda together. We will win together. Asante.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.